Hello stock gurus and welcome to another episode. Today we're going to be looking at Crispr. Crispr is a gene editing, DNA editing technology company. It's working on DNA editing, and that's what we're going to be looking at today, the potential of this Crispr technology, which is quite amazing technology actually. The reason we're looking at this stock, yesterday I was watching the Human Nature documentary, which you can find on Netflix. Really recommended. Human Nature on Netflix. It's a documentary talking about DNA, explaining DNA in a way that you fully understand how it works. It's actually an amazing documentary. And then when I'm watching this documentary, most of the information, most of the biologists are talking about one company, and that company is named Crispr. It just started raining. And Crispr is the technology that allows editing of DNA, cutting the specific strands of DNA and allowing scientists and biologists to edit the DNA structure of humans in the human already. It's very powerful technology. It's very new. To fully understand it, I really recommend you watch the documentary Human Nature. It's very beautiful. And in this video, we're going to go through the technical analysis for Crispr to try and predict what's going to be happening for Crispr, the stock, for the next few months, the next few weeks, and for today's trading day, the 30th of December, we're going to look at what's going to happen on the technicals. Then we're going to go into the fundamentals of Crispr technologies, Crispr therapeutics. We're going to look at the news, the financials, the revenues, the sales, the profit margins, how much money this company is worth, and if it's worth its $10 billion market cap, and what it has potential in the future. Everything you're going to see, if you're new to the channel, if you're not one of my now nearly 21,000 subscribers, we just hit 20,000 yesterday, now nearly at 21,000. Big congratulations, all stock gurus, especially anyone that's been with me from the beginning. We're up huge, 300% in Bitcoin now at $28,000. If you followed the buy Bitcoin video in July at $9,000, I said buy Bitcoin, up 300% since then. Unity up 300% also since the IPO, since I made that video. Buy Unity at the IPO at $52, now sitting at $154, so we're up 300% on that. Uber, we're up 95%. Twitter, we're up 80%. Match Group, we're up 80%. Disney, we're up 70%. We're just doing absolute. Wells Fargo, we're up around 40%. We're doing amazing on these stocks. So big congratulations, all stock gurus. We're doing really well for 2020. Big congratulations for all the gains we've got for 2020. Everything you're going to see in this video, you can learn in the Stock Guru Master Course, www.stockguru.us. The course is $300. It will be going to $3,000, so jump in that soon. If you've been losing money in the stock market, if you don't know the exact prices to buy your stocks, if you haven't just been making much money with your stocks, or if you want to be able to buy beautiful villas and have millions of dollars so you can spend all you want, like a lot of my students have obtained now. My students have made more than $300 million in the stock market. You can learn all this and a mindset of abundance. I also teach how to have millions of dollars, how to have a mindset of abundance, and mainly where to put money to go to grow. That's what I teach. You learn this all at www.stockguru.us. Anyone that purchases it before the 1st of January, I'm going to give out another $1,000, just like I did to Roman 69 on Christmas Day. I'm going to give another $1,000 on the 1st of January to another student that purchases the course before the 1st of January. So make sure you purchase it so you go in the chance to win that $1,000, which will be beautiful. So let's jump into the technical analysis for Crispr Therapeutics right now. Now we're going to be looking at the technicals for Crispr. This is the watch list we've been using. I'm using tradingview.com to get this watch list. This is the stocks we've been looking at and monitoring quite a while. Intel up 5% yesterday, which is beautiful, $49. We've been buying a lot of Intel. Airbnb we bought at the IPO at $60. Uber is up massive since the first buy video. Buy Uber 4,000% potential. It's up 100% since that video. Tesla up a lot since that $400 when we drew that target for the 640, which is beautiful. Match up massive since $11 when originally buying Match. This company, the company that owns Tinder, now sitting at $150. So we got almost 14 times gain there, 14 times money. Twitter up 100% since the first buy order. Bitcoin up massive since I made that video in July. Buy Bitcoin, $9,000 it was. Buy Bitcoin. I made that video, and now we're at 27,000, so up 300%. Same with Unity. Unity is also up 300% from that IPO at $52, which is beautiful. And yesterday I bought Crispr, and that's what we're going to be looking at today, Crispr technologies. Now, Crispr is very interesting. It was based off this documentary, the Netflix documentary called Human Nature. Amazing documentary. I was watching that yesterday on Netflix. Beautiful. It explains DNA really well. You fully understand how DNA works when you watch that documentary. And I was watching it, and then there's so many of the biologists talking about CRISPR technology. And this is the company that owns that technology, Crispr Therapeutics. Amazing documentary. I highly recommend you watch it, Human Nature, so you get an understanding of why this stock is so powerful. So technically, So on the technicals, what you're looking at here is the technical analysis. This is the price movement of CRISPR therapeutics over time. If you're looking at these technicals and it seems overwhelming, these charts are overwhelming you, I want you to stop, take a deep breath, relax into this, and by the end of this video, I promise you, you're going to know how to do technical analysis and you're going to use it to be able to predict the movements of stocks. So the overall trend, first thing, we're looking at the monthly candles. Each of these candles is 1 month. Overall trend of CRISPR Therapeutics since its IPO, massively trending up, and the trend is your friend. It IPO'd in 2016 for $13, now sitting at $157. So more than 12 times since the IPO. The overall trend, massively trending up. The trend is your friend. We have RSI and stochastic indicators. We're using volume indicators, support lines, and resistance lines. And the way these work, so everything you can see here, to set it up exactly the way I do, you go to www.stockguru.us and you'll be able to set up your charts to be like mine, and then you can follow along as I make these videos. So RSI and stochastic indicator, the way these work, above the dotted lines, it means this company is too expensive. Below the dotted lines, it means this company is too cheap. So right now in 2019, CRISPR was cheap. Now it's very expensive. It's overbought, in the overbought territory. However, we still have the stochastic turning up and heading higher. Same with the RSI, heading even higher into the overbought. We also have the squeeze mob going even further green. CRISPR went all the way to 181 and now it's come back to 157. We have massive amounts of volume recently, the highest volume ever for CRISPR. And what is volume? Volume is if you were to sell me your CRISPR stock and I was to buy them from you, that would be a trade, and that would add to the volume here, the trading of the stock. So as you can see, we're at all-time high volume at the moment for CRISPR, and volume predicts price. That's always the saying that I have. Volume predicts price. The overall trend is massively trending up for CRISPR. So volume predicts price. And we had this very big resistance for CRISPR at the $73 mark. CRISPR went up, hit it, came down, hit it, made a cup and handle, then shot out of it, and now it's like at a new all-time high. I also see a kind of trend line forming here, so I'm going to draw it in. We have a somewhat of a trend here. Here, we draw that in. The way we draw the trend is we try to touch as many points on the line as possible. So we touched here, here. And that's the trend that CRISPR is in at the moment. This was the cup and handle that formed. So it had a cup here, handle, and then shot out. And that's how a cup and handle plays out. So the overall trend is massively trending up. We have huge volume. We have CRISPR, RSI, and stochastic in the overbought territory, still heading further higher. And we have huge amounts of volume at the moment. The targets for CRISPR, since it's at an all-time high, it's quite hard to make those targets. The all-time high being 180. However, the stochastic and the RSI are still heading further up higher and huge amounts of volume. So indicating we've got further upside, the trend is your friend, and we go with the trend. Now we go into a shorter time frame. We click here, 1 year. And now each of the candlesticks is 1 day. This is the trend line that we're looking at now. So this is CRISPR moving and then climbing up, and now it went parabolic, and now it's looking like it is going to come back down to this trend line. We have the stochastic opening and heading lower, and we have the RSI opening and heading lower. We have huge amounts of volume just recently. It tried to come down to here, but it had a lot of support at the 146. It actually touched it. That's when I bought it yesterday, actually. We bought it around here, and then it recovered a little bit. However, the stochastic and the RSI are still heading further lower, but we have a lot of volume. So it's going to be pretty hard for CRISPR to break this $146 mark. The second support that we have for CRISPR is here at the $128 mark. So to me, it looks like it is going to come down for the next few trading days going to 2021. First target is the 150. Let's see. The first target will be $146. First target $146. Second target would be this trend line here. So first target 146, and then second target is the $114 mark. So that's what it looks like CRISPR is going to be doing. I'm going to actually draw that in. So we'll do it like this. Maybe I can do some kind of dot to dot drawing in. 1 second. Let's see if we use a brush. So first target 146. Then second target down to the $118 mark. That's what it looks like is happening to CRISPR. Actually, it would be better to use a path let's do path. So first path, let's see how it works. First path is going to the 146. There on that support, that's first path. And then second path is possibly coming down to the 114. That's what it looks like for Crisp. That will put the stochastic and the RSI in the oversold territory, then turning to head further up. However, I really don't see it going down to, it is possible that it comes down to this 114. But with the stochastic and RSI, that's the path that we've drawn. However, with the stochastic and RSI coming from very overbought and turning down, but the only thing, we have a lot of volume, and it is trying to hold on this support. So the first target is the 146. It looks like Crisp could be trying to hold this, bouncing and then heading up. If the stochastic and the RSI are fully oversold when it gets to this 146, then it turns and heads up. However, if they're halfway, then it can fall further to that 120. This would be the best target to be buying at the $120 mark. That would be excellent for a buying opportunity for Crisp for the long term, as it's following its overall trend line. And the overall trend is massively trending up, and you want to always go with the trend. The trend is your friend. So that's what it looks like is going to be happening for the next few weeks, going down to around 120. Target, I'll be buying and dollar cost averaging over time here, maybe buying some here, buying some here. You can see my buys in the join button of the YouTube membership section as I make the trades, bouncing and then continuing higher. Now let's see what's going to happen for today's trading day, the 30th of December. I click 3 months, and now we go into 1 hour charts. So in the beginning, we were on 1 month charts, then we're on 1 day charts, and now we're on the hourly charts. So what's going to be happening for today's trading day? And for today's trading day, it looks like Crisp is going up, actually. So we've got to get rid of that. It's actually going up. The reason? Stochastic very oversold, turning and heading up. RSI very oversold, turning and heading up. Huge amounts of volume. Looks like Crisp is going to try and climb for today's trading day. The targets for Crisp, first target is 163, and then the second target is the 174. So it looks like today Crisp will be heading up. First target 163, second target 174. For the next few trading days, this will put stochastic and the RSI in the overbought. The stochastic is open and heading up, but it is trying to close again, so we've got to be a bit careful. The RSI is also closing, and we have a lot of volume though. Volume predicts price. We also have very strong support here at the 146. So if it does turn to come down, 146 again will be an excellent buying opportunity for Crisp. The best case would be 120 here though. But for today's trading day, it looks like it is going to start turning to head up towards the $175 mark. Will be the target for Crisp. First target for today's trading day is 163. And then if it hits that and goes forward, the second target is the 176 for Crisp, and that should put the stochastic and the RSI in the overbought territory. And then we will see what happens next. Hit the subscribe button, the thumbs up, and the bell so you're notified of these daily videos. And I'm going to keep tracking Crisp. So again, for today's target, 163 first, second target 175 for Crisp, which is beautiful. Now, this is why technical analysis is so powerful. I'll show you another example and why you really must learn it. And you can learn it at www.stockguru.us. You'll learn how to set up the charts like this and how to do technical analysis. Now you already have a little bit of an idea. So here, stochastic oversold, turning, heading up. RSI oversold, turning, heading up. Good amount of volume. Crisp on its support line. So that indicates it's a buy here because it's meeting the conditions. Stochastic oversold, turning, heading up. RSI oversold, turning, heading up. Good amount of volume. Means Crisp is going to go up from here. So when Crisp hits this support line, all Wall Street bankers, all 401k fund managers, they all know to buy Crisp here because they see these conditions. Stochastic oversold, turning, heading up. RSI oversold, turning, heading up. Huge amounts of volume. They see these conditions. So the price of Crisp hits this. All their orders execute and becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. They all start buying because of the conditions being met. And the price starts going up. And they would have caught a movement from, you would have known to buy this there. You would have caught a movement from $109 to nearly $178, which is quite a huge movement, which is almost 80% gain. And you would have known to buy it at this point because stochastic oversold, RSI oversold, turning, heading up, good amount of volume indicates a buy, and it's self-fulfilling. All the Wall Street bankers, they all saw this, they put their buy orders here, it gets here, they buy orders execute, and the price shoots up to 179 for Crisp, and that's why it's very powerful to learn technical analysis. Again, you can learn it at www.stockguru.us. So now let's go into the fundamental information and news and research on Crisp, and I'm going to explain that to you what that is. So this is, now we're doing the fundamental analysis for CRISPR. And this is the Netflix documentary that I was talking about. We'll watch the trailer of it. This is what made me interested in CRISPR's technology.
Mother Nature gave us something that's richer than our imagination.
Amazing documentary. It teaches you about DNA.
We saw a very peculiar pattern.
Never seen anything like this before.
And this is the technology from CRISPR. A lot of these scientists are biologists.
I remember him saying,
they're using
remember
CRISPR
this
technology.
word, CRISPR.
And this is the company
We've never
ticker
had
also.
the ability to change the fundamental chemical nature of who we are.
Amazing
and now
documentary. I highly recommend.
And what do we
watch
do
it.
with that?
David's doctor told me, just hold on. There's something coming.
You can actually use
This is the
CRISPR
CRISPR
to
protein.
change DNA. You can actually do it.
We could engineer a single gene that could potentially make us all more
And a
muscular.
lot of
But
biologists
should
are
we
now
make
already
that
using
universally
this
available?
technology, which is actually
Что
amazing.
человек может создавать человека, человек, который может воевать без страха и без боли. И вот то, о чем я сейчас сказал, может быть
Very
страшнее
amazing documentary. I highly
ядерной
recommend
бомбы.
watching it. It talks a lot about CRISPR and this technology.
Should we really be manipulating the heredity of future generations given our lack of knowledge about so many things?
I don't know where you draw the line between not having albinism and deciding your kid needs to be an extra foot taller so they
This is
can
an
be a good
amazing
oarsman and go to
documentary. It
Yale.
really explains
Where is
DNA
that
very well.
line? Who's
So you
going to draw
completely
that?
understand it.
Anything that will stop my child from suffering, I'm for.
You know, draw this ethical line wherever you want, but don't draw it in front of my disease.
What does that mean for this science, where we have the capacity to edit in some things that we think are important?
The main
Are we
focus of
playing
this
up?
documentary is the CRISPR
You don't realize
technology.
it's disruptive until you look backward. Often you don't realize that you're in the middle of a revolution until after the revolution has
Many
occurred.
biologists were talking about CRISPR. That's why I started researching it after I watched this documentary. Human Nature, recommended. So now let's look at the fundamental analysis. So here we're going to type in CRISPR stock. And now we've got the information, the fundamental analysis. So what you saw in the beginning was the technical analysis, the charts, the RSI, the volume, predicting the price movement of a stock. The second way we're going to analyze stocks is the fundamental analysis, which is using the revenues, the sales, the news, the real world information to predict the price movement of stocks. So CRISPR Therapeutics is the company. The ticker on the New York Stock Nasdaq is CRSP. Overall time frame of CRISPR IPOing in 2016 at $30 is massively trending up more than 1,200%, which is huge, even more than that. Overall trend massively trending up. 5-year time frame massively trending up. 1-year time frame massively trending up. 6-month time frame massively trending up from $73 to $168. 1 month time frame also massively trending up, 126 to now 157. So every time frame, as you know, my students know, the trend is your friend, and on every time frame, CRISPR is trending up. The market cap is still quite small, $11.24 billion market cap. Now let's look at the news for CRISPR. So why CRISPR Therapeutics, Edits Medicine, and Intellia Therapeutics stocks are sinking today. The 6 best CRISPR stocks to buy today. CRISPR is the future of medicine, and CRSP is one stock you should own. Genetic stocks, where will CRISPR Therapeutics be in 10 years? Intellia Therapeutics, there's a few different gene editing companies. CRISPR gene editing owning the future of medicine. And what CRISPR is aiming to do, is it's aiming to remove a lot of diseases. So actual shares of CRISPR CRSP were flying even before the 4-day virtual gathering of scientists and physicians which took place in December 2nd. That's because of clinical data abstracts released by CRISPR and big partner Vertex on November 27, which caused the stock to vault above 110 and not look down again until 160. That encouraging data was surrounding their treatment CTX001 for sickle cell and beta thalassemia, 2 debilitating diseases of the blood. So Nobel Prize in October for the discovery of CRISPR-Cas9 was breathtaking. This data was explosive for the science and companies because of medical efficiency and safety. We had just taken 70% gains in CRISPR over 100 and were looking for a shot to get back in, but missed the train. At the time, the average Wall Street analyst target was under 100. So that's him talking about CRISPR stock, but we're going to research it more. should CRISPR be in your portfolio? I like to think I started buying it, so I like to have this company. Just because the number of biologists that were talking about this, company like CRISPR Therapeutics are in a position to invest in growth. Bluebird and CRISPR race for cure of sickle cell. It receives grant in advanced in vivo CRISPR Cas9 gene editing therapies for HIV. So it's a gene therapy company. So what it's doing is they found a way to edit DNA. So they can cut a strand of DNA, cut out sick parts of the DNA and replace it. And that's what they've discovered with this kind of technology, which is beautiful. Now let's look into my Twitter to see if we have any news on other information we can find about CRISPR. So now we're in my Twitter. I highly recommend you follow me on Twitter, Stock Guru. Twitter is an amazing way to track your stocks. This is just information. This is what I share. So here you can see student reviews of the Stock Guru Mastercourse at www.stockguru.us. Nicole was a student of mine. She was losing $90,000, took my course, made her $90,000 back. Now she's up $700,000. And you can just read hundreds of reviews from students here, some of them buying Ferraris, $2 million houses, paying off mortgages, losing their jobs because of COVID, and then making their incomes back, and just amazing, beautiful stories you can read here, many, many. And here's the Apple video that was released also on the channel today, so make sure you check that out. New Bitcoin all-time high. Bitcoin just hit an all-time high again, which is amazing. Last night, we also had the live in the Eagle's Nest Tuesdays and Saturday nights at 8 p.m., which was very nice, talking to students, non-stop talking to students. Here you can see some chats with the students, which was beautiful. We hit 20,000. This is my buy order yesterday on CRISPR. Here I'm going to read it. So this is what you see if you join the YouTube membership, which you can join and see my live trades. So this is just a taste. The members get this all the time. Yesterday I bought around 4 companies. So you see the ticker, you see the company name, you see the type of order, you see the limit price, the order execution time. This is what I share when I make a live trade. My stop loss, my disclaimer, targets, long-term hold, target times 50, 500 billion market cap, reason, monthly DCA. See documentary on Netflix, Human Nature. It explains what CRISPR does. CRISPR is a gene editing company with the aim of changing human DNA and curing diseases. Technical showing it's holding support. Technology is widespread. Company has a strong barrier to entry. First mover advantage. Amazing biologists around the world are using CRISPR technology. I'll make a video on CRISPR tomorrow, and this is the video. In November 2018, reports surfaced that CRISPR was used to alter the DNA of twin girls in China. It marked the first time in human history that humans edited the gene code of a future generation. So very interesting technology, and that's why we're reviewing it today. And you can just see many other posts that I share here, which is beautiful. This is Ahmed. He had COVID, he told us in the live chat, and he was in hospital. Now he's out of hospital as an update, which is beautiful. He's up 214,000 on this Amazon trade and 600,000 all up on that trade. He's around at a $16 million student now, which is beautiful. And you can just see many awesome posts that I share about just information about stocks and things. What we can also use this for, so if you want to find me, you type in the search Stock Guru, and then I'll come up and you can just follow me. This is me. And what you can also do is you can type CRISPR. And now we can research the stock. And that's what's very powerful, because you can research any stock. You could type Tesla up here, you could type Apple, and you get all the top information sorted by the top and be able to research a lot of information. This is why CRISPR Christmas postcard for 2020, the year where these amazing genome editing tools were awarded Nobel Prize through rescuing a mutant Christmas wish with the help of CRISPR-Cas9 strategy. So this is how you can cut a DNA code. It explains it in the documentary. Amazing Human Nature documentary. Microinjection and CRISPR, the thread. So new CRISPR techniques appear on the verge of vanishing sickle cell anemia. Other CRISPR methods have allowed scientists to create new smartphone-based diagnostic tests that would detect viruses and offer diagnosis within half an hour. Amazing. Victoria Gray was born with sickle cell disease. She's the first person in the US to be successfully treated with revolutionary gene editing that makes very precise changes in DNA. This was the CRISPR technology, gene editing treatment. CRISPR technique effectively destroys metastatic cancer cells in living animals. This is the power of this technology. That's why I really recommend top 10 holdings of Kathy Wood and ARK Investments. So Kathy is also holding CRISPR as her third biggest holding, which is beautiful. This is the ARK ETF, 10% of it Tesla, Roku, then CRISPR. So she's going on the same concept. So this is the main information. She holds shares held 3 million shares, market cap 500 million. Kathy Wood holds of CRISPR. We're trying to find any major news, but it's just people My bets in the US market are Crispr Technologies. Yes. This was me talking about Crispr yesterday. Display of the trade that I made. Look, folks, we're going to use CRISPR to genetically engineer humans with purple eyes, platinum hair, and resistant to disease, and find the ability to give birth to and physically control dragons. Interesting. CRISPR year in review. So this is the main information that we're looking at. There doesn't seem to be any major news except that CRISPR is getting very popular. Science 2020 breakthrough of the year goes to multiple COVID-19 vaccines. Great choices. Just have to boast that first runner-up, CRISPR treatment for sickle cell and beta thalassemia is based on a genetic discovery. CRISPR gene editing. Our customized therapeutic program using CRISPR provided real hope to families with Crohn's. So another disease, cure rare diseases this holiday. That's why CRISPR's many different biologists are using the CRISPR tech. So that's the main information about CRISPR. It's an amazing technology, but you understand it more when you watch this human nature documentary. So now let's go look at the fundamental analysis of CRISPR technology, the financials of it. The financials of CRISPR, founded in 2013 in Zug, Switzerland. This is the revenue, so it doesn't have much sales at the moment. The quarterly financials aren't too good for CRISPR. It's only doing around, December it did 77 million. March only 157,000, then 44,000, then 148,000. So it's very little money for $11 billion valuation. That's why you need a dollar cost average into CRISPR. It's for the future potential. The profit margin is also terrible. It's losing money massively. However, it does have $1 billion in cash, which is amazing. Let's look at CRISPR on my broker, Charles Schwab. Now we're in my broker, Charles Schwab. I recommend Charles Schwab for Americans. You don't have any minimums. If you're not American, you do need $25,000 to open a broker, a Charles Schwab brokerage account. CRISPR Therapeutics is the company name. The ticker is CRSP on the NASDAQ. The last price, $157. The bid is what people are willing to pay for it, $161. What people are willing to sell it, the ask, $163. The price at the IPO was $11 in 2017. Now we're sitting at 100. The high was $181. So huge overall upward trend. The trend is your friend. Now the prices came down a bit to 157. We had very little volume at the IPO, but now the volume has just been picking up, and huge volume recently. Volume predicts price. Earnings per share -$3, so losing money still. Market cap $11 billion, 67% held by institutions. Now we're trying to find any major news. No major news for CRISPR. It's got a sell rating, F rating by Charles Schwab, so it's got a lot of debt to liabilities, assets to liabilities. It's got much more liabilities. Sell rating CFRA, Reuters Research has outperformed, market edges along. The Economic Intelligence Unit, Switzerland A rating, sovereign risk A, currency risk A, banking risk A. So really like a strong company based off those. Then we go to the statements. Now we're going to look at the revenues, the sales of this company, CRISPR. So everything you're seeing here, how to read these income statements, balance sheets, cash flow statements, you learn at the Stock Guru Master Course at www.stockguru.us. And don't forget, anyone that purchases the course, www.stockguru.us, before the 1st of January goes into the chance to win $1,000, which I'll announce under the Christmas tree on the 1st of January. So if you purchase now before the 1st of January, you go in the chance to win $1,000. So this is the revenue of CRISPR. So in 2016, it only made 5 million in sales. 2017, 41 million, and now it's up to 2019, 290 million. So it's growing very quickly. However, its operating expenses are still, it only made 67 million net income, which is not bad if you think about it. It's actually, for a very relatively new company, that puts its profit margins, net income after tax, 67 million. It puts its profit margins at around 30% would be 100 million. So it's about 15%. Of 290 million, it's 15% profit margin. So it's got good revenues. The revenues are increasing. It does have good profit margin, 15%, and it does have $1 billion in cash, ticking all the boxes. So let's have now a summary of CRISPR. So in this video, in this image, it describes kind of how CRISPR works as it shows in the Human Nature documentary. So the Cas9 protein forms a complex with a guide RNA in a cell, and it's able to cut out a piece of cell, and because it has another DNA next to it, it's able to copy it across. So it can copy across the different information that they put in that second strand of DNA. It's very interesting. It explains it very well in Human Nature documentary, and that's why we're buying CRISPR. The main reason I'm buying it is because I saw that many of the biologists in this documentary are talking about it and using it in many different fields for many different cures of many different diseases. It's a way to edit genes and edit DNA. That's what they've found. So it can be used in many applications. That's why I'm interested. On the technicals, on all time frames, it looks like CRISPR is heading up. Overall trend is your friend, and CRISPR is heading up on the trend line. It can come down to those reports, as I showed on the technical analysis. On the fundamental analysis, it is relatively a new company, 10 billion market cap. However, only 249 million in sales means it's quite highly valued. So you need to dollar cost average here, but that's still good revenues. It's got growing revenues up from just a few million to 249 million. Its profit margins around 15%, turning that 249 million to 67 million in profit, which is excellent for a new company. I do rate CRISPR a buy on the potential of this technology for the future use cases of curing many diseases, and that many of the biologists around the world are already using CRISPR, and that's why I like this technology, and that's why I'm starting to dollar cost average and start to buy this company. I hope you like this technical and fundamental analysis of CRISPR, the therapeutic company. Everything that you've seen here, you can learn how to do at www.stockguru.us. So if you've been losing money in the stock market, if you've been buying stocks and not getting really much gains, or if you just want to make millions of dollars so you can buy beautiful villas like this and just be able to afford everything you want in life, you can learn how to do this at www.stockguru.us. Anyone that purchases now before the 1st of January goes in the chance to win $1,000, which is going to be beautiful. I can't wait to give that out, which I give it out on the 1st of January to one of the students that purchases the course. Also, you can see the YouTube membership join button there. Every time, just like I showed you with this Crisp trade, every time I make a purchase in my portfolio, if I buy, sell a stock, I put the buy price, the limit price, the targets for my trade, the stop loss, the reasons for my trade, and I put it in the YouTube membership live section as I make a trade in my portfolio. So you can take my course, learn it, and as you practice, you can follow along with my trades in the YouTube membership, which is $99 a month to see my live trades. It's made many of my students millions of dollars, which is absolutely beautiful. I hope you like this video on CRISPR. I hope it's been very informative, technical and fundamental analysis. I'm the only teacher that combines them both, technical and fundamental analysis, in the course as I've shown you. So I hope you like this. I hope you have a beautiful New Year's with your family. Really enjoy the time that you're with them. Really be present and spend it, because time is very fleeting and change is the only constant in the world. So really be present with them and spend good quality time with your family and friends. So this is James from Stock Guru. Have a beautiful, abundant day. Let's make a lot of money in the market today. And I want you to have a beautiful new year, and I'll see you again tomorrow.